My guys and the one lady watching this, because my audience seems to be like 95% dudes. Anyway, welcome. I've been trying to generate money using online polls for like a week now, because trust me, I cannot do this any longer. It kills brain cells. So I want to share my experience as an actual honest experience and my thoughts on this, so you can not make this mistake. All right? Yes. This is the narrative set for the whole video. If you don't want to hear the truth, then by all means continue to make pennies online and tell yourself that you're not better than this. But if you want to hear my honest opinion, I shouldn't say it's the truth, but if you want to hear my honest opinion on this, then stay tuned. All right, so I tried a bunch of German websites. I'm not gonna name the actual sites because I don't know legal stuff, so I'm not gonna disclose which sites I was using. Let's just say I was using the bigger websites, some of them also available in the United States, where you can make money online filling out questionnaires. So how much money did I make in a week? I would say it's about 30 to 40 bucks. And that already is enough for me to say, this is absolutely not worth it. I mean, unless you are a theoretical physicist and you're sitting in a lab, like a simulation lab, not a real lab, because you're a theoretical physicist, right? So you are doing your simulations and you are just waiting for the coffee to run through. So you will have your 5th cup of coffee that day. And you're just sitting there and you're tired because you have been calculating and programming stuff all day, and you can't possibly do anything where you use your brain. And you're like thinking like, oh, I'm sitting here, the university isn't really paying me a lot. I don't really feel like I owe them shit. I mean, unless you're German and you owe them your whole education. But anyway, you're sitting there and you think like, okay, you know what? I'm going to fill out questionnaires, make another 20 bucks or something this week, because that doesn't hurt. I can eat from that money. Unless you're that, or you are really somebody who cannot possibly learn anything and do anything, and you're super disabled, you cannot move, all right? The only thing you can do is like move your eyes maybe, and you can fill out this questionnaire at your computer, and you really need the money to, I don't know, fix the wheel on your wheelchair or something. No hate to wheelchair users, but unless you're one of these 3 people, like you're super disabled and this actually gives you joy, which I don't believe. Like, I don't believe that for a second. And also I think the scenario is bullshit, because if you're in that situation, you're probably too miserable to do that kind of questionnaire, and it's probably making you more nauseous. Or you're this theoretical physicist that is bored out of their mind waiting for your simulation to finish, or you are just somebody completely uneducatable, is that a word? And you're thinking, dude, I really can't bring my brain to learn anything new, any skill, and I don't want to do any physical work, and I'm just sitting here depressed. I might as well click on shit to get, I don't know, less than 100 bucks for it. Unless you're that, this is not for you, all right? And if you are doing this for a living, you are probably depressed, or you have some other sort of mental issue which you should deal with, rather than continuing to fill out these questionnaires, because this is bullshit. All right? Okay, now let me tell you why this is mind-destroying and mind-numbing and crazy and insane. If you are a thinking, feeling human being, I cannot imagine that you will be able to bear the stupidity of these polls. And I have been on like one of the better sites even, where you don't get into every questionnaire, and you really they vet you, and you have to fill out stuff that proves that you've actually read the questions and things like that. For instance, they will ask you what is 3 plus 4, or which of these is wrong and right, and please type the word mockingbird or something into a text field so that they see you don't just skip through it. I mean, sure, they want their real answers. Why would they go out and actually ask real people to get the answers from them, or do some sort of paid clinical study? Like, why would they actually put in the effort if they can just pay some stranger 20 bucks for spending half an hour of their life on their shit? Like, why would they do that? And I still expect like honest answers. Like, I mean, if you are doing this for whatever deranged reason, at least don't give them actual answers, because this stuff is so horrific. They don't deserve that. I feel a little bit bad for this poor person that has to evaluate all that shit. And I mean, they have a bullshit job too, right? But it's not as much bullshit as you answering this crap. This is nuts. So, will I collect my 25 bucks or 30 bucks or whatever I made? Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna get this money. I earned that. That was hard-earned money. I should have gotten like 500 bucks for that. That is a waste of time. So trust me, I only did this for this video. I would never in my life degrade myself to do that for longer than, I don't know, 5 minutes a day. And even that, like, this stuff lives in your head. And if I'm looking at the leaderboard right now, actually, and there are people who make, let's see, what is the top earner on this website? Trust me, this is insane. So there is one more week left in this month of October 2023, and this person has earned 30,000 points, which translates to about 130 US dollars. That the second is $100, and the third is also almost $100, like $97. That is nuts. And I imagine these people, because of the time it took me, I imagine that these people in the morning, they get up, they get out their phone, they do this on their phone, because other than that you cannot stay updated. There are new polls coming up all the time, and then you have to jump onto the poll, because if you don't, then it's gone, because a lot of people compete with each other trying to get the highest paying polls, you know, like let's say it has 250 points and you get 2 bucks and 50, right? Like that. But there are also ones that maybe they are just like 10 questions and you get only 25 cents, right? It's not really worth it. And so people are competing for these tasks, for these polls, in this weird way. They must be on their phones all day. They must do this for multiple hours a day to get $100 in the end. Like, I have a question for these people. Is there really nothing else you can do? Like, nothing? Because I can only imagine that you would do this if you cannot move. Like, there would be no other way for me to do this other than I can't move, and I desperately need that money to fix my one wheel or something on my wheelchair, or I don't know. I can't even imagine. And I've been in a position that it was very hard for me to get out of bed, and when I was very sick. So, and in that position, to be honest, I wouldn't have felt like working for something that is worth that little. I can't fathom the mindset you must have to think that this is okay to do to yourself. Anyway, so these people are doing this for, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day to get out $100, or maybe 200 if you're like, probably not, 150. I think 150 tops with this one site. And I mean, eventually you might even have to pay taxes on this stuff, like not at this level, but if you're doing this next to some shit job, let's say you are sitting, I don't know, at a parking lot, and you just, you know, people come in, you're sitting at a parking lot, opening the gate for people or something like that. And so you really have a lot of time on your hands where you think like, I can do these polls in between, right? I mean, I still think you are frying your brain, and you would do better if you would just take an online certificate course. Like, you could learn how to be a security analyst in that time, I mean, you might have to go home and do some stuff on your computer eventually, but you can listen to all the videos in one certificate, for example. I'm just saying this because that is the certificate that I did, and I could totally do that on the bus. And it will cost me like $50 a month, and it would take me 3 months to get this certificate, and it will still be worth it in the end, because then that certificate would help me find a job that I want. Polls just drain you. They take something out of you. They don't give you anything back. You are not doing anything for yourself, but you are filling your brain with this meaningless, mind-wearing out shit that makes your brain cells tired, that makes everything just like a fog. And I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but I imagine that I'm not. It seems to me like this is like one of the most annoying things that you can do. And I think that whatever it is that your job is right now, you will have no mental improvement from doing something like this to gain a few more bucks. Like, I think selling your panties online is a better job than this. And that says a lot. Just because the headspace it will take away from you, even if you were just sitting in this cubicle at your parking lot where you work, even if you're just sitting there and opening the gate for people, and you think like, in between I can do something else. Do something else, because this is not it. And from my experience now, from 1 week, just 1 week of doing this, I feel so occupied with this bullshit input into my brain. This makes me think about things I don't want to think about, products I don't want to have, services I don't need, and websites I have never visited in my life. It makes me think about consumerism. It makes me think about how much people waste their time, their lives, and their money to impress people they don't care about, and to participate in things they are not really good at or interested in, or that don't benefit them in any way. This is pure consumerism. And if you partake in this, you will actively make yourself more miserable, make yourself a smaller wheel in the machinery of capitalism. And it will not make you happy. So if you get that $25 at the end of the day, you will have worked for it so hard mentally, it won't even feel good. That's why I'm saying instead, because, if you criticize something, I think you should also provide a solution. Instead of participating in polls online, participate in a course online. Whatever course it is, there are so many websites like Skillshare, Coursera, Udemy. There are so many websites where you can learn soft skills, and my preferred one, hard skills, the real skills, right? Technical skills, programming. There are even free YouTube videos where you can learn how to code instead of doing something pointless like filling out a questionnaire. So you have to fill out 100 of them to get like $25, right? Instead of doing this, take an online class, actually pay for it. Like, the paid ones are the better ones because they hold you accountable, and also the course structure and stuff like that. So I personally prefer the website Coursera, which is where I have done a Python certificate, a certificate in R, I think also C programming, or C sharp, I think, and some other stuff, and also a cybersecurity degree, right? And you can do full university degrees by the way on these sites, but they cost like $30,000 upwards. So, and I wouldn't recommend that, because those bucks are gone and you will not finish that degree because you're looking into polls online. Something's already a bit wrong with you. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to say, I might not be in the most stable place. I'm looking for pennies in the sofa. So I'm trying to get money wherever I can. Well, that mindset, if you have that mindset already, you are not thinking problem-oriented and solution-oriented at all. You are thinking fight or flight. You are in a state of misery and anxiety, and you have to get out of there and start thinking strategically. What can you actually do? Because polls is not a strategic solution. That is a searching for pennies in your furniture strategy. That is a desperate thing to do. And you gotta admit if you're desperate, right? So my suggestion, go to a website like Coursera or some other page. They have financial aid actually for poor people. So if you don't have a lot of money and you want to learn a new skill, like, you know, data science is the most easy one in the whole tech sphere. Like everybody can do it. Like you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be a mathematician, physicist, something like that. You can learn that from scratch. Or if you do anything with Python, Python is the best programming language for people who do not know mathematics. Like literally in Python you can loop over anything. You don't even have to loop over a bunch of numbers. So, and there are so many opportunities like that. And if you can't even bring yourself to write 3 paragraphs to the makers of this website saying, hey, this is, you know, I'm at home, I'm a single mom, I don't have anything to work, I really would appreciate financial support, can you give it to me and I will do this course and finish it. Like, that's something you have to write, right? If you can't even bring yourself to writing something like that and to applying for that kind of financial aid and then taking that course, right? By the way, there is a 4-week free trial in this page. I'm in no way sponsored by them. I just have used them like 3 or 4 times in the past and I really liked the concept. So let's say you're not even in the mental state that you can write this email because it's just overwhelming to you. Well, then just start watching YouTube videos on a skill of your interest. And there must be something that you can find that you want to learn and that actually results in you maybe finding a job. And if it's something as simple as data science or just analytics and in some sort of analytic capacity, like a security analyst or something like that, there are beginner skill level courses that you can take even if you're coming from nothing. Because today, trust me, diversity is key. We actually value people, like in the industry, we value people who are coming from backgrounds like English studies, right? Because they have a unique perspective on aspects of anything computer science that traditional IT people just don't have, because they don't have this, they don't ever saw this part of university, you know? They didn't go to the same parties when they were younger. And so whatever you do, maybe this is coming a little bit from more of an academic scope, but well, that's my scope. Other than, I mean, before I was an academic, I was a nurse, so it's not like I've never worked hard stuff in my life. I did, and I'm glad that's over. But, you know, I just wanted to get this message out since I have a little bit of a platform now. And if you feel like this might help somebody, you know, in whatever financial crisis they are or mental crisis they are, then please share the video with them. Please know this is coming from a place of support, not a place of criticism. I don't want to say you're stupid if you're doing this, but you're making yourself more stupid. And we're all stupid in some way or another. So you are hurting your brain cells. You're actively killing them by doing something that is boring, that you're not into, that is making you sad. And, you know, all of this is also true for a shit job. If you are doing a shit job, you feel like you can't get out of it. Trust me, if you want to, there is a way. There is going to be a way. Maybe that way is going to be hard. And it's, you know, it's just easier to be complacent and to say like, well, but I can participate in that poll from the comfort of my home. I can sit here and at least I can click on that. And now I have $25 that I didn't have in that week before. Yeah, but if you take a real class, you will have knowledge that you didn't have before. You will have a different perspective that you didn't have before. You will have maybe a potential different outcome of your financial situation of your life that you didn't have before. You might meet new people. I have met people in online classes. I kid you not, on Coursera. I've made a friend on Coursera just by participating in the forum and messaging her and being like, hey, you sound kind of cool. And then she came to Germany. Actually, she was from London, I think, or some other British city. She came here and we met up and we went to a flea market together and did stuff, you know. She's back in Great Britain now, but we had a sweet time and it was really cool and interesting. It's possible if you're open. You gotta be open to the idea that you can drag yourself out of the mud, that you can improve your life, that you can learn a new skill, whatever it is. There are so many platforms online. And this is really the power of our modern society. I don't know how long this will last, but right now it has never been that easy to earn a skill certificate and meanwhile actually acquiring those skills because they have become that good. Okay? So don't cut yourself short. Don't tell yourself you can't do anything, you can't improve your situation, you can't be different, you can't learn. This is all not true. You might not be able to do anything. As in you might not be able to do whatever you want. Maybe you just don't have the talent for it, and that is a problem. You know, you should look for something you have a talent in. But there are definitely ways to get your skills improved and certified and therefore have leverage to apply to a job, because as we all know, people who hire people are often not the most versed in understanding academic skill levels, understanding hard skills, understanding versatility. For instance, I, as a physicist, when I apply to a job in engineering, often the HR person is like, "Oh, you're a physicist? Can you really do this?" "I'm a physicist, ma'am. Like, of course I can do this. It's not like, just give me the damn money." Like, you will have to deal with this. Sure, it'll be hard. Sure. And a certificate will actually make this easier because they can read text. They can't read people. They think they can, but they can't. They can't read people, but they can read text. All right? So you go for this text, you go for this title, you go for this certificate, you go for the programming language that you want to learn, that sounds fun to you. And by no means am I saying that everyone should work in IT. I don't think we need more bullshit jobs. But there is a shortage right now in many areas of it. Why not take advantage of that while we can, make our lives better, you know? I'm always for diversification, so I'm also saying you should get other sources of knowledge, of income. You should not be single-minded and just learn one skill, you know? I know how to sew clothes, not this one, that's a knitted sweater, but I make these brooches actually. So I have an online business. So, you know, you gotta diversify yourself, and the first point to start is to stop wasting your time scrolling online, whether you paid for it or not. Log out of all that shit, get into the real life, learn real skills, and also learn how to endure a little bit of boredom. No skill that is paid well is easy to acquire. I mean, and even if you're saying, oh, well, there are people who are scamming others, you know, there are people in the area of management who make a lot of money, but those are total dumbasses. Like, how come they make more money when there is this janitor working so hard all day, and look at the janitor, he is doing hard labor, and this management person, like, snarky dumbass, he doesn't even have any tech skills, but he's leading all these programmers into oblivion, like, because nothing good ever comes out of management, you know, unless they have skills, but most of them don't, and then they get replaced, and then there's another management idiot. We all know the tale, all right? So I understand that people keep wondering, like, but what skills do these have? And the answer is they have the skill of bullshitting people, which is also a skill hard to come by, because if you could do it, why don't you, right? Why aren't you in this management position where this idiot is that you don't like? Because you don't have the same skill. It might not be a hard skill, might be a soft skill. Sometimes they come in handy. They're not my favorite because they're actually hard to acquire. Sometimes you're just born with them and you have a natural talent in them, like communicating. And some soft skills are really, really important and awesome too. Not saying they're all shit. I'm just saying that the commercialized ones, the ones that people try to monetize in some rather shady courses, are not so great. You know, they're not great for business. They're not great for your CV. So and you probably can't even acquire them through a course. But hard skills, you can acquire them through a course and you can improve your skill set. And it's not like a bad programming course will prevail. A bad programming course will receive really shitty reviews very fast. And that way you will know. But in soft skills, I feel like there's more scam than in, the hard skilled area. Anyway, that is all I have to say about this. I hope this helps. Please don't lose courage. You can do it. You can acquire new skills. Please don't do polls online. This will make your life worse. And I wish you all the best.